LeShawn Johnson, drafted in the third round of the 1994 NFL Draft. His speed, vision, and agility made him a force in Green Bay, Arizona, and New York. But behind the cheers and glory, a darker chapter was unfolding. In August 2025, federal authorities closed in on Johnson's property in Oklahoma. 190 pit bull-type dogs seized, the largest single seizure in a federal dogfighting case. Johnson was charged and convicted on 6 felony counts linked to breeding, training, and trafficking dogs for fighting. Operating under the name Malcont Kennels, Johnson ran a criminal enterprise hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. This was not his first offense. In 2004, he had pleaded guilty to similar charges, but evidently, the warning signs went unheeded. Facing decades behind bars and hefty fines, the scandal shocked the sports world. Fans struggled to reconcile the memory of a promising NFL career with the reality of criminal actions that betrayed trust and decency. Talent and fame could not shield him from consequences. The stadium lights may fade, but actions, especially those that harm the vulnerable, leave an indelible mark. Daryl "Buster" Skrine, a name once synonymous with speed and agility on the football field. Drafted in the 5th round of the 2011 NFL Draft by the Cleveland Browns, Buster's journey from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga to the NFL was a testament to his dedication and skill. Over 11 seasons, Buster showcased his talents with the Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, Chicago Bears, San Francisco 49ers, and Tennessee Titans. With 491 solo tackles, 10 interceptions, and 89 pass deflections, he established himself as a formidable cornerback in the league. However, in August 2025, Buster's legacy took a dark turn. Arrested in Georgia, he faced 18 charges, including identity fraud, deposit account fraud, and theft, stemming from a scheme where he allegedly defrauded women he met on dating platforms out of approximately $300,000. Authorities claim Buster convinced these women that he was in financial distress and promised repayment through his NFL annuity. Instead, he used the funds for personal luxuries, including travel and accommodations. Before this arrest, Buster had been a fugitive in Canada, evading authorities after missing a court date related to a separate fraud case involving fake bank transactions. His GPS monitoring device had gone offline, leading to an international manhunt. Once celebrated for his prowess on the field, he now faces the consequences of actions that have overshadowed his athletic achievements. Vick, once the electrifying quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, he was the kind of talent that rewrote expectations. Drafted 1st overall in 2001, Vick's combination of arm strength, speed, and improvisational genius made him a nightmare for defenses. By 2004, he led the league in passing touchdowns, and his ability to scramble added a whole new dimension to the quarterback position. But beneath the highlight reels, a darker story brewed. In 2007, federal authorities uncovered Vick's involvement in an illegal dogfighting ring. Reports detailed horrific practices: dogfights for gambling, animals starved, tortured, and killed. Vick's role was central. He financed, organized, and promoted the operation, implicating himself in a crime that shocked the nation. The NFL responded swiftly. Vick was suspended indefinitely, his contracts voided, and endorsements evaporated overnight. Federal prosecutors didn't hold back. He pled guilty to conspiracy charges, admitting he had financed and promoted dogfighting, resulting in a 23-month federal prison sentence. Upon release in 2009, the road back was steep. Vick signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, facing immense scrutiny from fans and animal rights activists alike. He had to rebuild trust while proving on the field that his talent remained elite. By 2010, he led the Eagles to the playoffs, earning a Comeback Player of the Year nod in 2010 and solidifying that while his actions had destroyed his public image, his ability to perform at the highest level had not vanished. By the way, I'm going to be posting a lot more interesting videos on the channel. I'll greatly appreciate it if you could show support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you. Sam Hurd. A wide receiver, drafted in the 6th round by the Chicago Bears in 2006, Hurd was the kind of player coaches dream of. Disciplined, reliable, and quietly productive. He had a knack for clutch catches and route precision, accumulating over 1,000 receiving yards in his NFL career and earning respect as a professional who let his work on the field speak for itself. By 2010, Hurd had joined the Dallas Cowboys, where he continued to contribute as a dependable pass catcher, showing flashes of brilliance that kept defenses wary. But in 2011, federal authorities revealed a shocking secret. Hurd had been involved in a massive drug trafficking operation. Investigators said he was not just a participant, but an active facilitator, distributing cocaine and marijuana and even attempting to recruit other players into the scheme. In 2012, Hurd pled guilty to drug conspiracy charges, facing the reality of a prison sentence that would overshadow his career. He was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison, a dramatic fall from the locker rooms and stadiums where he had once thrived. Will Allen was a reliable cornerback with a career built on discipline and consistency. Allen entered the NFL in 2004 as an undrafted free agent signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, before finding a home with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and later the Green Bay Packers. Known for his ball-hawking skills, tenacity in coverage, and smart football IQ, Allen carved out a solid career over more than a decade, contributing to special teams and defensive rotations alike. But behind the stats and steady performances, a shocking scandal would briefly cloud his reputation. In 2011, Allen was implicated in a federal investigation involving allegations of fraud and identity theft linked to a broader financial scheme. Prosecutors accused several individuals of using false identities to file fraudulent tax returns, and Allen's name appeared in documents suggesting connections to these operations. The NFL and federal authorities took notice immediately. While Allen denied direct involvement and no criminal charges were formally filed against him, the situation sparked intense media scrutiny. The episode didn't derail his career entirely. He continued to play, eventually winning a Super Bowl with the Packers in 2010. Bam Morris, a powerful running back with a knack for finding the end zone, burst onto the NFL scene in the mid-90s when the Pittsburgh Steelers drafted him in the 3rd round. His rookie season offered glimpses of a bruising, hard-nosed runner capable of breaking tackles and igniting big plays. Over the next few years, Morris delivered standout performances, including a career-high 1,070 rushing yards in 1996, showcasing the mix of speed and strength that made him a fan favorite. But off the field, Morris struggled with battles that would eventually overshadow his athletic promise. He was arrested for drug-related offenses after being caught attempting to sell cocaine. The case shook the NFL and Pittsburgh fans alike, sparking conversations about substance abuse and player accountability. Morris pleaded guilty to federal charges and served a prison sentence, a steep fall for a player whose potential seemed limitless just years earlier. The scandal also raised awareness about the league's handling of substance abuse issues, prompting calls for more comprehensive support systems for players struggling with addiction. While Morris attempted comebacks in later years, including brief stints with the Chicago Bears and the Canadian Football League, his career never regained the momentum it had before the legal troubles. Martavis Bryant. Known for his jaw-dropping speed and high-flying catches, Bryant entered the NFL spotlight as a second-round pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2014. His rookie season flashed glimpses of elite potential, with 42 receptions for 548 yards and 4 touchdowns, showing the athleticism that made fans sit up and take notice. By 2015, he had become a serious deep threat, recording 42 catches for 702 yards and 8 touchdowns despite limited playing time, making him one of the most exciting young wideouts in the league. In 2015, he faced a 4-game suspension for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy, a foreshadowing of the ongoing battles that would plague his professional life. By 2016, another suspension kept him off the field for the entire season, and questions about focus, discipline, and personal choices began to overshadow his rare talent. The pattern continued in 2018, when Bryant was reinstated but struggled to regain consistency with the Steelers and eventually moved on to the Oakland Raiders, though he never fully regained his form. His case highlighted the challenges NFL players face with managing fame, discipline, and personal responsibility, and how even the most gifted athletes can see potential squandered by repeated missteps. Clinton Portis. Bursting onto the NFL scene as a first-round pick by the Denver Broncos in 2002, Portis quickly proved himself as one of the league's most electrifying running backs. With a combination of blazing speed, uncanny vision, and punishing balance, he rushed for 1,508 yards and 13 touchdowns in just his second season, earning a Pro Bowl nod and cementing his reputation as a workhorse who could take over games. Yet off the field, Portis faced personal and legal challenges that would periodically cast shadows over his career. In 2005, he was arrested for possession of marijuana, an incident that drew media attention and stirred debate about player accountability. Later, Portis's struggles with financial management and personal disputes highlighted how fame and fortune can complicate life beyond the gridiron. Despite these issues, he remained productive on the field, most notably with the Washington Redskins after a trade in 2004, racking up multiple 1,000-yard seasons and leading the league in rushing yards in 2008 with 1,487. Fans were constantly reminded that athletic brilliance alone cannot insulate a player from the consequences of personal choices. Eric Johnson. A former NFL linebacker, he played for the Oakland Raiders, Atlanta Falcons, and Arizona Cardinals between 2000 and 2006. Known for his defensive prowess, Johnson's career seemed promising. However, in a shocking turn of events, Johnson's name became associated with a serious criminal case. In 2025, he was arrested and later convicted for his involvement in a human trafficking ring operating in Georgia. The operation, linked to the Lotto gang, trafficked multiple women and a child across various locations, including Airbnbs. The FBI's involvement underscored the severity of the case. Johnson was sentenced to 20 years in prison, with 10 years to be served and the remaining 10 on probation. He pleaded guilty to charges including gang activity, racketeering, and pimping. Wendell Smallwood, a name once synonymous with the Philadelphia Eagles' Super Bowl victory in 2017. But in September 2025, his legacy took a darker turn. Drafted by the Eagles in 2016, Smallwood's career spanned 6 NFL seasons, including stints with the Washington Commanders and Pittsburgh Steelers. On the field, he was known for his agility and determination. Off the field, however, Smallwood's actions led to a federal investigation. In late 2024, he was charged with wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the IRS. Prosecutors accused him of exploiting COVID-19 relief programs by submitting fraudulent applications for economic injury disaster loans and Paycheck Protection Program funds. Smallwood allegedly used defunct or recently registered businesses to claim over $645,000 in federal aid. He also submitted false tax returns, resulting in approximately $110,000 in refunds. In December 2024, Smallwood pleaded guilty to all charges. In September 2025, he was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison and ordered to repay the stolen funds. Dennis McKinley, once synonymous with the Arizona Cardinals' backfield, but in June 2003, his life took a dark turn. Drafted in the 6th round of the 1999 NFL Draft, McKinley played fullback for the Arizona Cardinals. Known for his strength and versatility, he appeared in 58 games over 4 seasons, primarily contributing on special teams. However, his promising career came to an abrupt halt. On June 24, 2003, McKinley was arrested by Phoenix police and charged with leading a drug trafficking ring. Authorities alleged that McKinley was involved in importing marijuana from Mexico and distributing it across the United States. The Arizona Cardinals wasted no time. Hours after the arrest, the team released McKinley, stating that his actions adversely reflected on our organization. The NFL community was left stunned. McKinley faced 19 counts, including conspiracy to distribute marijuana and illegal control of an enterprise. In 2007, he was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. His fall was swift and unforgiving. Rae Carruth. In 1997, he was the Carolina Panthers' first-round pick, a wide receiver with blazing speed and the promise of superstardom. Fans and coaches alike believed he was destined to dominate the NFL. Carruth quickly made an impact on the field, recording 41 receptions for 545 yards and 5 touchdowns in his rookie season. By 1998, he was becoming a household name in Carolina, a player with a bright future and a city rallying behind him. But off the field, darkness was brewing. In November 1999, Carruth orchestrated a plot that would shock the nation. His pregnant girlfriend, Sherika Adams, was shot multiple times while driving in Charlotte, North Carolina. Despite critical injuries, Adams survived long enough to identify Carruth as the mastermind behind the attack. Adams tragically passed away weeks later, but her son, Chancellor Lee Adams, was delivered prematurely and survived. Unfortunately, he suffered cerebral palsy due to oxygen deprivation caused by the attack. Rae Carruth was arrested and charged with conspiracy to commit murder. In 2001, he was convicted and sentenced to 18 to 24 years in prison. He served nearly 19 years before being released in 2018. Carruth's once promising career was erased, leaving only a grim legacy and a tale about fame, power, and consequences. Daryl Henley, once a standout cornerback for the Los Angeles Rams, his life is a disturbing tale of fame, temptation, and downfall. Drafted in 1989, Henley quickly made his mark in the NFL. By 1993, he had 12 interceptions and was known for his aggressive play and leadership on the field. But in December 1993, Henley's life took a dark turn. He was arrested and charged with cocaine trafficking. Authorities alleged that Henley was the mastermind behind a nationwide drug distribution network, using his home as a base of operations. He denied the charges, claiming he was a victim of a setup. However, the evidence against him was overwhelming. In 1995, he was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in federal prison. But the tale didn't end there. While incarcerated, Henley attempted to orchestrate a murder-for-hire plot against the judge who sentenced him and a key witness. He was caught and faced additional charges. In 1997, Henley was sentenced to an additional 21 years, bringing his total sentence to 41 years. He remains incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles. Antonio Brown. Once celebrated as one of the NFL's most electrifying wide receivers, his journey from gridiron glory to criminal charges has captivated and shocked fans alike. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2010, Brown's career soared. 7 Pro Bowl selections, a Super Bowl title with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2020, and over 12,000 receiving yards solidified his place among the league's elite. But behind the accolades, controversy loomed. In 2019, Brown faced a civil lawsuit from his former trainer, Brittany Taylor, who accused him of sexual assault. While the statute of limitations prevented criminal prosecution, the NFL conducted its own investigation, leading to Brown's release from the New England Patriots. Legal troubles continued. In 2021, Brown was involved in a battery incident with a truck driver, leading to a no-contest plea and 2 years of probation. That same year, he was briefly detained following a physical altercation outside a celebrity boxing event in Miami, though no arrests were made. In June 2025, the situation escalated. Miami-Dade County officials issued an arrest warrant for Brown on charges of attempted second-degree murder with a firearm. The warrant alleges that during a confrontation outside a celebrity boxing event, Brown seized a handgun from a security guard and fired 2 shots at a man, grazing his neck. Tim Barnett, a promising wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs. Drafted in the 3rd round of the 1991 NFL Draft, Barnett showcased his skills on the field, recording 82 receptions for 1,188 yards and 10 touchdowns over 3 seasons with the Chiefs. But in 1994, his promising career took a devastating turn. Barnett was arrested and charged with second-degree sexual assault after allegedly exposing himself to a 14-year-old hotel maid in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The incident shocked the NFL community and led to his release from the Chiefs. In 1995, Barnett was convicted and sentenced to 3 years in prison. The charge carried a maximum sentence of 10 years, but Barnett was released after serving approximately 9 months. Raphel Cherry was once a promising defensive back in the NFL. Drafted by the Washington Redskins in the 5th round of the 1985 NFL Draft, Cherry played for the Redskins, San Francisco 49ers, and Detroit Lions from 1985 to 1988. Known for his agility and defensive skills, he appeared in 42 games and recorded 5 interceptions during his career. But in December 1998, Cherry's life took a dark turn. His wife, Rae Harris Cherry, was found dead in their Jacksonville, Arkansas home, having been strangled. Prosecutors argued that Cherry killed his wife in a fit of rage after she began pursuing a divorce. In 2001, Cherry was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. However, his conviction was overturned due to jury misconduct, leading to a retrial. In the second trial, he was again convicted and sentenced to 30 years in prison. Jimmy Ward. A seasoned NFL safety with over a decade in the league, his journey from the field to the courtroom has been marked by controversy and legal battles. Drafted by the San Francisco 49ers in 2014, Ward played for the team until 2023, earning recognition as one of the league's top safeties. In March 2023, he signed with the Houston Texans, continuing his NFL career. In June 2025, Ward was arrested in Magnolia, Texas, on charges of third-degree felony domestic violence. The alleged incident involved the mother of his child, who later filed a civil lawsuit accusing Ward of physical and sexual assault, drug use, and threats against her life. She seeks over $20 million in damages. Despite the serious allegations, a Montgomery County grand jury declined to indict Ward, citing insufficient evidence. The criminal case was dismissed, but the civil lawsuit remains active. Following the grand jury's decision, the NFL removed Ward from the commissioner's exempt list. However, due to a pre-existing foot injury, he remains on the physically unable to perform list and has not yet returned to play. Aaron Hernandez. Once a star for the New England Patriots, his tale is a tragic descent from athletic promise to criminal conviction. Drafted in 2010, Hernandez quickly became one of the NFL's most promising tight ends. By 2012, he had helped lead the Patriots to a Super Bowl appearance, earning accolades for his exceptional skills. But in June 2013, Hernandez's life took a dark turn. Semi-professional football player Odin Lloyd was found murdered in an industrial park near Hernandez's home. Just days later, Hernandez was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. In 2015, after a high-profile trial, Hernandez was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The motive for the murder remains unclear, but speculation includes theories about Hernandez's personal life and possible connections to Lloyd. While incarcerated, Hernandez faced additional legal challenges, including charges related to a 2012 double homicide. However, in 2017, he was acquitted of those charges. Just days after his acquittal, Hernandez was found dead in his prison cell, an apparent suicide. He was 27 years old. If you enjoyed this video, I'm going to be posting a lot more interesting videos on the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. Thank you very much.